Already a seismic upset, the downing of the 6th seed from Indonesia, Jonathan Christie, out in straight games, 21-15, 21-13 to young Lee Zija of Malaysia. We move on, turning our attention to women's singles next. Chen Yu Fei, the undisputed world #1 and defending champion here at the All England Open, takes on young star teen sensation An Se-young of South Korea. So that should be an absolute popcorn battle. There's the draw. Right at the top is where the top seeds are always located. Of course, Mia Blichfeld and Usnan Ombang-Rumfan of Thailand. They'll go toe-to-toe to see who will take on the winner of this one. But again, a cluster laden with absolute top quality. You see Ratchanok Intan on the 5th seed down below, taking on Sonia Che of Malaysia. But a good start for the Malaysians, and the Malaysian fans back home will be absolutely delighted. It's a big, big win for Lee Zija. Now, what of another youngster? An Se-young, just 18 years old. A glimpse into the future of women's singles, with these two both being pretty young. They'll be around quite a while, so take note of what we see upcoming. It's going to be our second match of the day. Chen Yu Fei, Chinese #1, world #1, leading the way, taking on An Se-young of Korea. What an absolute belter, Morten.
Yeah, it's one of the matches that I think lots and lots of badminton fans have been looking forward to. And you know how unfortunate it is for both players to play one another in the first round of the All England. You know, one is seeded 1 and one is #9 on the world ranking. So what's the chances?
Well, look at that as we take a look at their head-to-head showings then. It's been all victory for Chen Yu Fei so far, but look at the last meeting. It was a tight 3-game affair at the Victor China Open. And this youngster is tipped for greatness. Very, very good player, getting better in that scoreline.
Red or black? Black. Red. Receive. Side. Side.
Huge moment for An Se-young. And for Chen Yu Fei, what an awkward assignment, having to take on the young star in your opening match. Just 22 years of age is Chen, ranked at the pinnacle of the game, opening her defence of her All England crown against An Se-young today. Overcame Tai Tzu-ying in last year's showpiece, putting an end to the 2-year reign at the championships for Tai. She won it in 2017 and 18. But what a year it's been. Faultless in 8 finals, 8 wins in the last calendar year for Chen Yu Fei, the leading light in women's singles. And her first title started all the way back in Macau Open, when she won the Grand Prix Gold back in 2016. But it's been a stratospheric rise for her. She's only had 1 loss this year, has Chen Yu Fei. We'll get to that later as we take a look at this young 18-year-old from Gwangju in Korea. Played 13 matches, won 9, lost 4, ranked inside the top 10 these days. I called her tournament win in the New Zealand Open last year, and she was standout then at just 17 years of age. Really sort of, the world stood up and took note. But that was when she broke into fresh territory. But again, the Paris Super 750 level event, she really announced herself onto the world stage, winning that French Open title last October. Now, one of the most feared athletes on tour, Morten.
She is. I don't think anyone wants to play An Se-young. She's a very hard fighter, and you know, she's really capable of sets. We've seen her beating Tai Tzu-ying. We've seen her, you know, beat Caroline Marin. We've seen her beat many players already, and she is the feared opponent. There is no doubt about it.
Alan Crowe in the chair for this one. And the service judge just opposite Simon Dart, keeping an eye on everything service related. Under 115, the hole of the shuttle has to be struck. So yes, they've met 3 times before. First time was in the Asian Games 2018, and that was a straight game affair, as it was in the Thailand Open a year later in July. And then the Victor China Open in September. Chen Yu Fei winning all 3, but the last one was a 3-game
Ladies and gentlemen,
tussle.
on my right, Chen Yu Fei, China. And on my left, An Si-young, Korea. An Si-young serve, love all, play. Service over. 1 love. Service over. 1-all.
Well, both these two pretty similar in the way that they're excellent, both at sustaining steady badminton for long periods, Morten, without giving much away, right?
That's true. I think I think it's in favour, of course, of Chen Yu Fei, who's #1 on the world ranking. She's also 4 years more experienced. Somehow I feel there's more pressure, there's more solid pressure from her side. An Si-young is more a retrieving player, trying to get as much back as possible, but is not capable of playing the same kind of winners as Chen Yu Fei is.
2-1.
Well, she's the player to beat, Chen Yu Fei. Consistency personified. She has been all year. It's been an amazing year.
Yeah, last year she, in 15 tournaments at least, reached the semi-final. 15 tournaments.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah.
And she did have a loss, didn't she? Was it the Indonesian Masters recently, her last tournament?
Yes, she lost to Lina Kersfeldt. Yeah,
Patriot. Yeah.
First round.
Did you see any of that?
I just caught a glimpse of it, but I didn't see the match completely.
4-1.
But Kersfeldt played well, but I still think that Chen Yu Fei was far from her best. She just came from a win at the Malaysian Masters the previous week, and then went to Indonesian Masters and lost that 3rd round to Lina Kersfeldt. 2 straight games.
Yeah, I guess it catches up with you in the end. Indeed, she won her last 4 consecutive tournaments going in there to Jakarta, so must have been slightly fatigued, you'd imagine.
Yeah, it's hard to say.
Anyhow, look at the scoreboard at the moment then, a sparkling start for the young Korean. Fist pumping already. Well, we better take a look at this youngster playing off a career-high ranking of 9th in the world. She's won 5 titles from 8 finals in the last 12 months, the fresh-faced, enthralling Korean. And Morten, we've watched her before together. Her strengths, her movement, her ability to perceive the game quickly, just a very complete player at such a young age.
She's a very good retriever. She's getting a lot of shots back. I think if you still want to develop her game, I think she needs more strength in her attack, and perhaps delay shots, trick shots and so on. But when it comes to physical, when it comes to retrieving, she's absolutely perfect. She's getting a lot back and she's frustrating her opponents into error.
The Koreans must be getting pretty excited about her sort of chances regarding the Olympics upcoming with such a sort of upward ascendancy so fast from the Korean.
Yeah, it's all about keeping a very cool head when you're going into the Olympics, because a lot of players are nervous, shaky, and the one that really keeps everything in control is standing a very, very good chance. And Ang Se-young looks like one of the players that she's not really fazed by the situations.
And from both perspectives, particularly Chen as defending champion, would she come in this opening game, Morten, with your experience, and go lights out to make a statement of intent, or just play her way in slowly, coolly, as you're suggesting?
I think she wants to win as quickly and as easily as possible, but it's not easy to do that against Ang Se-young. And I think she needs to play her best.
Service over, 7.
Ang Se-young is just outside the seeded players as number 9 on the world ranking. So she's, according to the ranking, the best player not seeded in the tournament.
She got out of jail there as well, the Korean. That was a little lucky.
She did. Now, I really think CHEN Yu Fei have to play to her very best, find her best form from the first match here at the All England this year. And I think she's capable of doing it. That's a good play. Good play there from Ang Se-young.
8-4.
Far from overwhelmed. Isn't it her debut showing here, Morten? The young Korean? I'm pretty sure it is. Taking it all in her stride,
yes,
anyhow.
She did not participate 18-19, so yes, it is. And if I should sort of bring up one feature of Ang Se-young's play, I think her net play is really good. And from her around the head situation, she's got a good straight smash, but she's also a good cross-court smash.
Challenging for the first time in the match. Ang Se-young, 4-point cushion. Will it be 5?
Correction in.
Yes, it will.
So 9-4.
Extending her lead, looking very still-eyed and very up together in this fresh venue for her. She'll have heard so much about the All England Open. This time last year, she was playing much, much smaller tournaments. But I think that in itself, Morten, the way that she started out here against the world #1, no less, having never beaten her before, but took a game last time, is just so good mentally.
I would say she has grown into a stronger mentally player. In the beginning, I must say that CHEN Yu Fei was quite shaky when it came to her mental strength. She very often lost matches that she shouldn't have lost, and she was quite shaken. But last year she really came of age, and perhaps, you know, we're never going to see that mental frailty again, but you never know. You never, ever know.
Service over, 10.
Buoyed by the fact that she's won already 5 consecutive points in this opener, and Se-young continues with effect. 5-point cushion, just a game away from the mid-game interval here. A point away, I should say. That's a brilliant cross smash. Impeccable accuracy.
6-10.
I remember this time last year, before her winning the title, some was sort of suggesting that she might be a little bit toothless in attack. Not so. She's improved in that area. And there's several ways to hurt opponents.
Yeah, that's well played by CHEN Yu Fei. Really closing the net down very nicely.
7-10.
Just a blur of intensity in orange.
Yeah, good length.
Service over.
Very good length from Ang Se-young.
So Ang Se-young it is. Heads to the turn with a 4-point cushion, 11 points to 7 inside 10 minutes.
이제 스피드 조금 이래 스피드 있겠다. 롱 서비스만 롱 서비스 있을 때 제가 바로 오니까 네가 이렇게 많이 쏠리잖아. 특전하게 슛 서비스 했거든요. 지금 리듬이나 이런 건 다. 他就是这样的。然后呢，你自己注意你的这种本能的感觉，高球跟他拉，然后变速这一下要出来。他关键他反攻就在于你压平高啊，所以就说让他4点跑，让他4点跑啊。
Korean star with her back to us. Ang Se-young, just 18 years of old, off to an absolute flyer against the world #1 and defending champion.
12-7.
Both with 2 coaches at the mid-game interval, whispering tactical nuances in their ear and just pearls of wisdom. It's all got to be pretty concise from these guys. They know just how she ticks, what she needs. Studying her every move visually, trying to glean something tactically here. Tough ask against the world #1.
CHEN Yu Fei trying to look at the spinning net shot here, very, very tight. And I think perhaps that's where CHEN Yu Fei can win points. Maybe she's a little bit sharper at the net than her opponent from Korea.
Called out.
Well, judging from that body language and the shaking of heads approvingly, I think she thinks she's found the line here with this one. It was a very convincing, committed challenge from the world #1. Long way off.
Yeah.
Challenge unsuccessful. 1 challenge remaining.
Sometimes happens when you go across the line, doesn't it?
13-9, play.
I think she was shaking her head in disbelief that she could miss it by such a big margin. That's a wonderful save. And that's what I mentioned. She can drive her opponents absolutely mad.
Service over.
Many an opponent would be left broken after that sort of defensive prowess from An Se-young, but the world #1 kept on the front foot and bossed the point home nicely. But what a dig there from the young 18-year-old. She's a standout athlete. Reads the game so well, Mon.
Back and court, please.
Can't believe that she missed one of the more easy ones.
She's never won the opening game against Chen Yu Fei. She went the distance in the Victor China Open in September, but took the second game, did An Se-young. Would put a really interesting slant on this one if she can deny the defending champion here, the opener.
Well left.
$1 million question, Morton, a man of your experience, 4 titles here. What's she got to do to beat the world #1?
I think that plan A, the game plan that An Se-young has got is, you know, to frustrate her opponents as much as possible, make it a very physical, hard game, and I think that's what she's doing. I don't think she can do much more than what she's doing now. I think she's playing well, she's playing solid, not making a lot of mistakes here. We saw a fine example of good net play. I think she's doing the very, very best she can. And I think it's really in the hands of Chen Yu Fei to see whether she can respond well to it.
So she's looking to take the net away pretty quickly then, Chen, is she? And sort of to get the upper hand is...
Yeah, it's tricky against An Se-young because, as I mentioned, she's got a good net play. But I still think when Chen Yu Fei is playing at her best, her net play is perhaps even better. So it can be a fight at the net to get that initiative.
Service over. 12-14.
Korean coach is just desperately trying to catch the eye of An Se-young, gee her along visually. It all helps when you're in battle.
That's good play.
It was a beautiful disguised return, wasn't it? Set the tempo for the point nicely.
Service over. 15-12.
But it's two players of very similar playing style.
Again, the Korean scoreboard turning nicely for her fans. Well, An Se-young serving up a treat here. It's all going swimmingly for the younger of the two athletes. She'll be pleased with this kind of start. Can she see this first game off in her favour?
I think she will. I think the gap for 5 points is very much demanding, I would say. And we will see in the second game what Chen Yu Fei is made of, because she's got the back to the wall. One game down and then having to win the next 2 in her defense of her title here from last year. Good follow-up.
Solid and persistent is An Se-young. Just so watertight throughout this opening game, and Chen looking a little bereft of idea, desperately over to her coaches now, right up against it. she's missed that one as well.
It's calling out
Wants to challenge.
Chen Yu Fei challenges called out.
She has lost this point. It's a handful of consecutive Korean points. World number 1.
This is tight. I think this is a very, very tight call.
Suspenseful moment as we wait for the cocks to turn on the Hawkeye challenge from Chen Yu Fei. She desperately hopes she's found the line with this and can continue to contest this opener. If not, she might have cut herself adrift here. Let's find out. Oh, it was wide as well, Morton.
Yeah, close.
Challenge unsuccessful. No challenges remaining. 19-12. Play.
Concern in the Chinese camp. Thought there might be a backlash.
Service over. 13-19.
It's a perfect return of serve. Just clipping the top of the tape. Forcing a very short lift.
So the run of points stops for An Se-young at 5. Can Chen rebuild? A little lucky break off the top of the net. That'll really help at this stage.
14.
Nibbling
19.
away at the scoreboard deficit, and with it the heels of An Se-young. Coming through another long, grueling rally, the young Korean, to the delight of her duo at the back of the court.
20 game
And many
point.
fans at
14.
home delighting in what she's brought so far, the young 18-year-old from Gwangju. Is that a smile breaking across her face? She's now got 6 game points.
Game.
An Se-young, just 18 years old, takes one big step closer to a gigantic upset here in the All England.
21-14.
21-14. The young Korean takes the opening game against the world number 1 and defending champion.
나머지는 다 잘하고 있어. 수비도 빨리. 체력이 괜찮고. 괜찮아. 지금 그대로 리듬이나 이런 게 괜찮고 수비도 괜찮아. 스매시 딱 들어갈 때 그걸로 끝내려 생각하지 말고 받는다 생각하고 그다음 연결해서 계속 알겠지?
看有机会出，没有就全推给他，知道吗？还是做好防守啊。因为这边你接掉接杀可以看一看，他放网你可以回戳的机会的时候可以回戳一把啊，但是就是说不要发力打，就是软软的跟他，他就是软软的跟你打，不然发力进攻一下，你就老想发力，但是发力用不上力，接不上力，知道吗？啊，加油啊！
It is interesting to see the raise to Tokyo, the Olympics later in the year. Chen Yu Fei is number 1 on the list. That's based on only 14 tournaments, where An Se-young is number 8 on that list, and that's based on 21 tournaments. So she's got 7 tournaments more than Chen Yu Fei, and still she's number 8, where the other one is number 1. Just shows the quality of how well Chen Yu Fei have played over the last almost 12 months by now.
You certainly can't write her off, CHEN Yu Fei. There's no doubting that. She's had 3 consecutive wins over today's opponent, who is improving by the month, by the match, seemingly. And Seung getting that one a little bit wrong, but
yeah, we will see what
home.
CHEN Yu Fei is made of now. She's got the back to the wall now. She's got to really show that she is #1 in the world.
Love.
answering the early questions in game 2 impeccably. Must-win game for Chen here.
Service over. 1-2.
What a wonderful lift. Really good length.
2-all.
Just impeccable again from the young Korean. Look at this. Well inside the back line.
I still think I need to point out that this is something that CHEN Yu Fei cannot afford to do. She's got to stay extremely solid and wait for her chances. And if these kind of chances she's taking on the lines are not working out, that can really work to her disfavour. She's got to stay solid.
It's been called wide as well, and just when you sense that with the opening 2 points in game 2, Chen might be roaring back, not so. Denied again by some brilliance from An Si-young.
Yeah, CHEN Yu Fei have to play bread and butter and wait for her chances.
Service over. 3-all.
Well, at some stage in that young mind, you'd imagine that she, you know, thoughts of the finish line will come into her head.
Yeah, but we just, over the past 12 months, seen that it doesn't really happen to her. She just keeps soldiering on, and whatever happens, happens. And she's really good doing that.
Yeah, she's great, Morten, isn't she? It's sort of compartmentalising, you know, single points.
4-all.
As if they're sort of solitary assignments on their own.
Here we have another example. That one is far from out. It's actually way in badminton terms. And still CHEN Yu Fei is taking the chance in it. And it's showing that mentally she's a little bit frail.
Yeah, well said.
Out.
Well, she had the best look of everybody at that straight smash.
Called out.
It's called out. She's challenged again.
Had it been called in, An Si-young would have challenged.
Yeah.
So it's really, really tight. And you also saw that the linesman was changing his mind. First, he was actually indicating it in, and then changed his mind to out.
Quite away in the
Challenge
end.
unsuccessful. 5-4. Play.
So inside 30 minutes of action. And Chen Yu Fei, the defending champion here at the Yonex All England Open, still remains under scoreboard pressure. And this young Korean. Well, the early theme was set on show court 1, wasn't it, when Jonathan Christie was upset as the 6th seed by Lee Zijia of Malaysia. Perhaps again here, another seed may be ejected. That's nice.
6-5.
Yeah, that actually looked quite assured, didn't it?
Yeah, very, very sharp angle here from Chen Yu Fei. On the line, couldn't be better. And this is a very well constructed rally by Chen Yu Fei. Sharp shots all the way, forcing the area eventually.
Tireless Teen digging deep, and she will need to. Chen Yu Fei so quick to close that down.
8-5.
Now, a turn on the scoreboard, a 3-point cushion for the world number 1.
Yeah, one of the differences between these two players is Chen Yu Fei's ability to kill at the net is definitely better than Ang Si-young's.
Why the sudden turn, Morton?
I think Chen Yu Fei's playing sharper but not making the mistakes. And she stopped taking chances at on the lines. But that's a beautiful reply from Ang Si-young.
Well, there's a yearning in those deep brown eyes.
6-9.
The Korean wants to get to the very top of the game. She's declared that. Playing some great badminton. We are being treated to some terrific badminton right now.
Service over.
Well, leaving it all out on the court, there's no
10-6.
denying that. She's giving her all. But Chen Yu Fei just shifting into that gear that only the world number 1 can find, you sense.
Yeah.
Wow, she's won 7
Nice.
of the last 8 points now.
11-6.
Yeah, very nice.
And how about that? A seismic turnaround in the second game in favour of the world number 1. She's really has roared back here. 11-6 she leads.
阵风很单纯，那我就种啥，该种啥的时候。
我觉得他站得很酷，他们情况，如果跳松了，他就
这个你
不管他啊，然后你注意往前，你往前你要让他打出有威胁的球出来，你的球才可以更有威胁。你们俩互相挡圆网，你是没有威胁的，而且他推你，他可以推得很多，然后你对他要控制，知道吗？但是就是说你不发力，后场该发力。
For 120 seconds. For 120 seconds.
안 되면 눌러주든가 반대로 완대로 들어오거나 반대 그냥 지금 저 여기서 치면은 무조건 여기서 지선대가 잘 들어온다고 해? 뭐 생각을 하고
Back and court.
Well, plenty of advice being barked out for An Se-young. She needs to make changes because CHEN Yu Fei has admirably, and to her credit, the world #1 has swung this second game around her way.
Six.
To the last 9 points going the way of the world #1. Well, despite the miss there, though, Chen driving the points with more authority right now, looking a little bit more composed and settled. What can this youngster bring to fight back? Two in a row for the Korean.
12.
Generous hand from her bench.
Yeah, just out. I think even should, if you look at it from the point of view of An Se-young, even should CHEN Yu Fei win this second game, I think it's very, very important for the young Korean to make the second game be as long and hard as possible to take the edge out of CHEN Yu Fei. So even though should An Se-young not win this second game, I think it's very important for her to extend it for as much as possible.
Service over.
What we love, Morten.
13.
Former
8.
4 times champion here, 11 times semi-finalist, Morten Frost. Just great insight from you. Well, it's hands down from the lines judge. And Se-young has challenged and doesn't look utterly convinced, judging from that
no.
sort of slight grimace on her face.
Not really.
CHEN Yu Fei, though, her solidity is starting to provoke a little error. And An Se-young so desperately hopes that this has spilt over the back line. And it has.
Wow.
Yes, she'll be pleased with that.
That's really, really nice. A challenge
9,
from An Se-young.
13. Play.
So a timely, successful challenge then for the 18-year-old. Playing off that career high ranking of 9th in the world, barking every now and then in her own 18-year-old way. She's fist pumping as well, doing all she can to psychologically get inside the head of the defending champion and cause more problems here in game 2.
the gap just down to 2 points.
13.
Anything can happen.
3 in a row for An Se-young. Loving it.
Yeah, that's a good follow-up from CHEN Yu
Service
Fei.
over.
Look at how
14,
quickly she gets to the
11.
net after going cross-court. Trying to have a look at this one, and then the follow-up. Look at that, how quickly she gets there. And that's, of course, forcing the arrow once again. That's good play from the world #1.
There's something playful and puppyish, isn't there, about the way that An Se-young just loves sort of spending time on the deck. Really fun-loving. Really into this performance, as always. Dripping with sweat, she's giving her all. That's nice disguise and pace from Chen.
And that's,
15,
again,
11.
one of the differences between the two players here is the sharpness in which CHEN Yu Fei can finish her rallies compared to her opponent. She has a better attack than An Se-young is having.
She's done very well
11.
psychologically, hasn't she, Chen, to sort of notch up a number of, as you said, these sort of quick fire points. Stunning attacks, varying the lines.
Yeah, but as you noticed, apart from the early parts of the second game, CHEN Yu Fei has taken no chances on the lines.
17, 11.
It's been a tremendous display of how to turn a match around from Chen.
Service over. 12, 17.
Well, she was a little slow to release the handbrake in the opening game, which she conceded, CHEN Yu Fei, but now really up to speed.
See, very fine example of a better attack and a better follow-up and a better opportunity to kill it at the net from CHEN Yu Fei here. Good play.
She's won 5 out of the last 6 points, really looking dictatorial and #1-like. Well, I guess, Morton, she's got a little wriggle room on the scoreboard.
13, 18.
Perhaps a little greedy in that point, though, Chen.
CHEN Yu Fei having a very commanding lead now. And I think she will drive home the second game quite easily, and we are treated to a decider.
Service over. 19, 13.
So 6-point buffer in favour of CHEN Yu Fei. 19-13 here.
Service over. 14, 19.
But you have to credit An Se-young. She's really has probed and poked the beast the other end and brought the best from the defending champion. Found that as well. very dictatorial. Coaches delight in what they're seeing right now from Chen.
40.
6 game points.
Game.
World #1 pedigree on display. It was a must-win game, and she did just that. When her back was against the wall, Chen Yu Fei finding all the answers. 21-14, she snatches game 2 in the blink of an eye. We are going down the straight here at the All England Open in match 2. It'll be a third and deciding game between these two.
所以手就还是一样打软，不要主动去发力。然后这边你是逆风，那个杀球可能就是有机会大胆打，他给你半场，对不对？软的打技术，打控制，他给你后场后没事打高一点，因为你这边高球不容易接完。然后关键是你的吊球，你现在吊球就用自己的感觉，吊得慢没关系，吊得慢，他戳上去你还有回戳回高。 就是你可以用，假如他的球越有威胁，你反过去的球更有威胁，知道吗？假如他反而打简单、打圆环、打那些，你反而不好，那我们就可以打技术，好吧？有机会反攻那一排果断一点就是。
지금 뭐 어떻게 뭐 할 게 없어. 그럼 지는 거야. 빨리 움직여야 되는 거야. 무슨 말인지 알아? 속도에 속도에 할 게 없어. 무슨 말인지 알아? 네가 더 속도를 내려고 그래. 공격적으로. 어? 그렇게 하다가 공격을 끌어야지. 제가 실수 나오면 이렇게 해야지. 천천히 알았지? 응?
관계 바꿔보자고. 직선 끌어가지고 타임이 나오잖아요. 안돼 들어오면 안돼 스매싱. 만약에 했잖아. 지금 뭐 삼각으로 계속 되는 거야.
120 seconds.
나머지는 다
20 seconds.
내가 가는 거 할 수 직선 다. 오케이? 오케이.
Final game. Love all. Grab the court, please.
Well, it's going to be a one-game shootout here. Race to 21 to see who comes through and survives this opening round popcorn clash. Chen Yu Fei, world #1, just wanting a few beads of sweat cleaned from the court. Making An Se-young wait.
One love.
Well, the physical intensity palpable in the opening point of this decider.
Service over. 1-all. Service over. 2-1.
Yeah, that was a bit of an easy mistake there. Of course, she wants to go tight, but don't want to make the mistakes. You cannot afford that against Chen Yu Fei.
Three, 1.
That's a very, very good start by the world number 1. 4-1 up.
Service over, 2-4.
And Se-Young having to dig really deep in her kit box to earn points here against a much improved world number 1 in that second game.
And once again, we see here that favourite cross-court smash from the forehand from CHEN Yu Fei. It's very sharp and it's very precise. And it's scoring a lot of points for the world number 1.
Immediate riposte from Han Se-Young, commendably.
3-5.
Declaration of her intent. In such a watchable contest, living up to its billing, this one. Enticing millions all around the world.
Wait, please, wait. Play.
And this shot here from Han Se-Young with the forehand dribble at the net is not an easy shot, forcing a short lift. And I like the fact that she was not going cross-court and opening up, but stayed on the same side, enable her to follow up on the next one should it be needed. It's a good play by the youngster.
Three in a row for Han Se-Young. Deadlock in game 3.
I just mentioned earlier what a difficult shot that is on the forehand side to play that spinning net shot. And the first one came off very nicely. The second one, as we saw here, went into the net.
Yeah, you do wonder as well, Morten, whether it's the sort of number 1 that sort of provokes that with solidity as well.
Seven, 5.
Bringing their very best. Great to watch. Ouch!
Wow.
Another cross smash with venom on it.
Yeah, that was... Once again, we see this very, very short action from CHEN Yu Fei, but still very decisive. Good play.
Yeah, she's good at ratcheting up quick points, CHEN Yu Fei. And Se-Young, you sense, is really... her points are quite relatively and respectfully said laboured.
Yeah, she's got to work a lot harder for her points than what CHEN Yu Fei is doing. And that's probably the difference between the two players.
Well, where she had won 3 points herself in a row, suddenly she has lost the last 4. Han Se-Young.
Good cover. Really well covered.
Service over, 6-10.
The immaculate defence here, isn't it? Great
If
That's
you're
good.
going to choose side, that's the side to choose. Always choose the cross one.
Service over.
Well,
11-6.
5 minutes shy of an
Italy.
hour, and the world
Chen
number one
Yu.
seems to be a little bit more comfortable now. She looks more relaxed. She has an 11-6 cushion at the turn in the deciding game.
在这边注意，就是说你的抢网跟推球一定要结合啊，然后就是说他的那种软过度啊那些你就是说迎上去就行了啊，进去给他圆网没关系，但是就是说一定要保护好两个后场，但是他的顾客呢可能会两个半场出来啊，半场出来的话你不想发力就软掉，继续打连环，想发力就果断一点啊，你记住，只要形成多拍对你有利啊，对哦，所以他比较急，他累了。
And so Young back to court.
Well, she's won 6 out of the last 7 points, has CHEN Yu Fei,
11-6.
and looks to have
Play.
tamed the onslaught from the young Korean. But there's still a lot of badminton to be played here in this deciding game. Can she hold on?
Yeah, solid play from CHEN Yu Fei. Really chasing her opponent around on the court. But again, look at the accuracy of that smash on the line on the backhand side, and then of course enable her to do that beautiful follow-up and the finish. Really crisp and solid by CHEN Yu Fei. And that's another follow-up there. And Ang Se-yong really have to start looking for answers now. 13-6 down.
13.
Again,
6.
as what I mentioned earlier in the match in the men's singles, where I sort of looked for Jonathan Christie to go a bit more on the attack. I think this is what Ang Se-yong should do, even though this is not the best suit.
Now a little bit of light relief there for An Se-young as that one spilled over the
13.
back line from the world number one. She's been merciless in this deciding game. Quite simply finding another gear and really testing those tight defenses of the Korean,
Service over.
but buckling it on a
14,
fairly regular basis
7.
right now is Chen. Look at this, and she just looks in such great shape as well, so lean, lithe, and barely breathing at the end of points.
They're really mounting the pressure in terms of quality of shots.
She's won 9 from the last
15,
11 points. Chen
7.
now really turning the screw here. It's a stern reminder of her quality.
Service over. 8-15.
Yeah, that was a little bit loose from CHEN Yu Fei.
9-15.
She was actually there, and she could have kept that one in.
Oh, she's missed that. She was all over that point, and she knows it. Hence the dismissive turn away.
16,
That is frustrating
9.
for An Se-young, having worked so hard to get the upper hand here. She might pay a heavy price for this miss. But again, Chen squeezing hard as we head into the second hour of this tight contest. It's been absorbing, thrilling badminton throughout, but just a brilliant watch in that Chen Yu Fei as world #1 can just up the level.
Yeah, but what if An Se-young wants to continue playing her sort of rally game? I think it's very important that she generates more pace in what she's doing. Because at the moment, Chen Yu Fei is having too much time to play her shots. Even though An Se-young wants to run and run and run, retrieve, get it back, it's still not enough because the pace in what she's doing is still not high enough. It will come with time, I think, but at the moment, it's still a little bit too slow.
Going upstairs again. And that one's missed by a
Successful.
fair margin.
One challenge remaining. 18, 9.
You do sense now Chen Yu Fei is set sail for home. Just 3 points away from round 2.
Fault. Service over. 10, 18. Eleven, 18. Play. No, play. Service over. 19,
She's found the pin
11.
code again for what looks to be the 4th consecutive time against An Se-young, whose future, without a doubt, is extremely bright. But Chen Yu Fei now has got this one within her grasp.
Service over. 12, 19. Wipe the court, please.
Well, there's only 8 world ranking spots between these two top tenors. But Chen Yu Fei has just shown why she's at the very, very top on the women's singles world rankings today. She's had to bring her very best against this young teen upstart from Korea, who we'll be seeing a lot more of on our screens. He's put up a really good fight.
Thirteen, 19. Service over, 20, match point, 13.
So after an hour and 5 minutes, 7 match points for Chen Yu Fei.
Service over, 14.
Not so fast,
20.
suggests An Se-young.
Yeah, this is some of the things I would have liked to have seen a little bit earlier from An Se-young. As you can see, she can do it, but she's not consistent in the way that she's playing. She wants to just rally and rally and rally rather than changing the pace all the time. That's another good change of pace there from An Se-young.
15, 20.
Well, her stock price has definitely gone up today, An Se-young. Played a terrific match, battled hard as always. But still 5 more match points for Chen. Chen Yu Fei keeps her title defence intact in Birmingham. Managed and contained the game of the young Korean An Se-young. Just squeaking past 21-15 in the deciding game.
21-14.
Chen Yu Fei
21-15.
battling through over the line in Birmingham with a characterful showing in 66 minutes of compelling action. A really great match to watch, and today asked a lot of questions, but digging deep and finding the ultimate answer. She's through, the defending champion, to round 2.